We are seeing a great opportunity in supporting Kenyans to educate their children, to sustain themselves in business through soft loans. It's an opportunity for us to prolong periods so that Kenyans can continue to be able to afford the tolerance level, and where we could really use advisory services to step in, that is what we shall do. So it's a huge opportunity. Challenges provides us with huge opportunities to say, Kenyans, here you are, you've supported us when the going was good, it's now our turn to look back. If you look like what we did last year, although the interest spiked up in March, we delayed until November 15 until we couldn't take it more. So it's a year for us to pay back. The question of cost of access financial services have completely been removed, and we could see a huge spike as Kenyans now says, I can now afford banking because I don't have to go to a district headquarters, I don't have to pay fare. The bank is here in the village. Yeah, those are the two great things. And our lastly, of course, is the concept of innovation, bringing payment systems closer to Kenyans, and particularly moving them away from the cash handling. You go to the supermarkets, it's just swap. You take whatever you want and swap your card. Go to the ATMs, it's just so. So the question of making the country cashless, I think that's a way. And of course, then reaching out to corporations that require the support, like Kenya Power, giving them, underwriting their rights issue, giving them a huge facility to develop the infrastructure of this, reaching out to Nairobi City Council, and more importantly, reaching out to NALOC, giving them a system that enables them to stop the leakage in their incomes of NALOC Country Council. The biggest challenge that we have had to contend with is cultural differences between our people, and basically to develop the unique organizational culture that we have in Equity, that of dedication, that of devotion, high productivity. What it has cost us to circumvent that is to really hire like Luanda, we hired 150 and brought them here for a year, trained them, worked here, and then packed them back home. Then you're able to overcome that problem. Of course, there are challenges in regulation where the 5 countries to different levels of development of their regulation. That varies from one country to the other. Adoption of innovations is a huge challenge, because then, although you have a networked infrastructure, you're not able to uniformly offer the same products across the board. The microeconomic steps that have been taken, monetary and fiscal policies that have been adopted to tame the microeconomic environment have started working very well. We saw the increase on the central bank rate has caused the exchange rate to move down from 107 to a low of 84, which is basically where we were in January. And if we can say we stabilize allowed, if the central bank is able to stabilize the exchange rate there, then what we shall see quickly is inflation will start coming down. As Kenya Power has already promised, they are going to remove 5 shillings per unit of electricity consumption, simply because now they're using hydro power. As that happens, if you look at the next consignment of oil that will be imported, it will be imported at 85 shillings per dollar, while the one that we are consuming was imported at over 100. So you notice that that provides us an opportunity to reduce maybe another 10 to 15 shillings per liter of oil in the country. And basically, if you remember, that is what caused inflation. If you find the country has just had a very good harvest in the last quarter of the year, food prices have stabilized or started going down globally. So again, food inflation, which was the other twin cause of the problem. So I would expect that because the economies take between 3 and 4 months to adjust, by March, inflation will be very well managed. And as soon as inflation is well managed, then interest rates will come down. So I would guess also interest rates by June will start seeing good signals, because they follow one another. Say banks are not in the business of self-suicide. It's a very competitive industry. We have 43 banks. So when you have such a competitive environment, then what you do is that you respect the market forces of demand and supply. And like it has happened in the past, just in March, prime rates had gone as low as 8. So the way they had come down, they will certainly come down. Everybody wants to sustain business. And in a very competitive environment, we outperform each other in the search of customers. And the biggest thing is a current account is a current account, where competitive edge is on pricing. So people should have the confidence and the trust that banks will behave like they're in business, and part of the business is taking care of their customers. So the role of our politics is embodied such that I think people will play within the rules than ever before, and that will change the decentralized devolution, the separation of judiciary, the executive, and the parliament again will create a huge paradigm shift. So I think people need not to see our politics for this year, the electioneering this year, with the same lenses that they saw it in 2007, 2008. The ground have shifted, and we should be positive, exercise our democratic rights very responsibly, and our country then, like any other economy that has structures that manage elections, will not even feel elections. It will be just another event, as opposed to a situation that keeps on having dips in our economy. We are very well located geographically. We have great people, entrepreneurial people, well-trained workforce, a big market within which we play, but our politics and leadership has been letting us down. So if we sort that, I would expect that Kenya would quickly be able to achieve the milestones that are set in Vision 2030. If you look at the World Bank prediction, is that Kenya has the capacity to achieve the dreams of Vision 2030 by 2019. 11 years earlier than our prediction. So it is there for us to spoil. It's given to us. The question is, do we take care of this new environment?